your greatest love songs all the way from 2 to 4 every Saturday at Siesta Musica. Join Dream Car the Announcer at Siesta Musica every Saturday from 2 to 4 in the afternoon dito sa inyong nag-iisang himpilan, Cool FM. Mapapa-cool ka dito!
Lahat ng drama, lahat ng tawanan, lahat ng iyong all-time hits. Ang tanging huntahan ng Masang Ngamaw. #1 sa Mega Manila, nationwide pa. Broadcasting from TGON, TVH Group of Networks. Dito lang sa inyong iisang himpilan. Cool FM! You are listening to Cool FM, live from Cool Studios. This is Cool News at 6.
Good evening, this is Cool News at 6. I'm Cairo. President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. on Monday said the government is ready to help areas affected by Typhoon Julian or International Hurricane. I was supposed to go to Ilos yesterday pero wala na. Iyong weather, sumama ng husto basak ng ulan. So we're just watching it and seeing what will be needed pagkatapos ng pandan ng bagyo, Marcos said in a chance interview in Tarlac. We're still having to wait for the water to come down and to do everything for the water to come down. Pero hindi pa ito, mag-intensify pa ito. So we have to watch, he added. Based on the State Weather Bureau's latest track monitoring, Typhoon Julian was last spotted over the coastal waters of Sabtang Island, Batanes at 1 p.m. It carried maximum sustained winds of 175 kilometers per hour near the center and gustiness of up to 240 kilometers per hour as it moved 15 kilometers per hour west-northwestward. As of 2 p.m., tropical cyclone wind signal number 4 was raised over the Batanes Island, with signal number 3 hosted over Papuyan Islands. Next headline. As part of its flagship advocacy, Toka East Zone concession in Manila Water encourages its customers to take advantage of the monthly launching service offered by the company. Toka is the first and only environmental movement in the Philippines that advocates proper management of wastewater in every household as an important share of Toka in reviving rivers and waterways. Before the scheduled launching in the Barangay Manila Water, through its advocacy managers and service area representatives, leads an information, education, and communication session to discuss the importance of regular dislodging of household septic tanks to the health of the community and environment, and how the collected wastewater is treated in Manila Water's septic treatment plants, ensuring it passes government standards set for effluent before being discharged back to water bodies. Toka also calls for solid waste and segregation and connection of all households to a proper sewer line. In October, Manila Water's dislodging caravan will go around 67 barangays in the East Zone to provide septic tank siponing at no additional cost. These are the following. With 4 Metro Manila as Barangay 763, 768, 771, 779, 781, 784, 786, 787, 788, 789, 794, 797, 800, 801, and 802 in Manila. Yugo Norte, Bagong Lipunan ng Karamem, Pinyahan, Bahay Toro, Potocan, White Plains, Amihan, Old Capital Site, West Triangle, Duyan, Malaya, Project 6, Teachers Village East, and Teachers Village West in Quezon City. Bel Air, Lumpia, Pitogo, San Lorenzo, Singamas, Sortcampo, Venezuela, and Pio del Pilar in Makati City. Bangko Silang, Hagdang Pato Itas, Hagdang Pato Lipis, Harapin ang Pukas, Mawai, and Pagasa in Mandaluyong City. Sumilang San Nicolas, Sagat, Maybunga, Maninaw, Capasigan, Orambo, and San Antonio in Pasig City, San Roque in Marikina City, Santa Lucia in San Juan City, and San Miguel in Taguig City. And for Rizal Province, Sancho, San Isidro, Burgos, Rosario, and Magahan in Montalban, Cupan, San Jose, and San Roque in Antipolo City, Silangan, and Guinang Bayan 1 in San Mateo, Tayuman in Binangonan, and San Juan in Taytay. For more information on the lodging service, customers can reach out to their respective barangay consuls or call the Manila Water Customer Service Hotline 1627. That's 1627. President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. on Monday integrated the country's first lithium battery factory in Tarlac Province. Marcos said the opening of STB Gigafactory Incorporated, a manufacturing plant of advanced lithium-ion phosphate batteries used in renewable energy and electric vehicle industries, is a milestone for the country, especially in creating a sustainable, innovative, and transformative future. This promises to be the first step in all that we are hoping to do, not only to help and create jobs for Filipinos, not only to bring a transfer of technology to the Philippines, but also because we now are able to do a very solid and serious step in mitigating and adapting to climate change, he said. It sends this message to the world. The Philippines is now ready to innovate, to lead, to become the go-to destination for high-tech, high-impact investments. As the first manufacturing plant in the Philippines for advanced ion phosphate batteries, often used in renewable energy and electrical vehicles, the STB Gigafactory sets the stage for the Philippines to become a player in clean energy storage in part of the world in Southeast Asia in our region, he added. According to Marcos, STB Giga will be producing 2 gigawatt-hours of batteries annually once it hits full capacity by 2030, which is equivalent to around 18,000 electric vehicles and almost 500,000 home battery systems. It will also create 2,500 direct and indirect jobs for Filipinos by 2030. In terms of economy, the factory is expected to contribute 5 billion pesos annually. Marcos said the factory could entice more investors in renewable energy as the facility would run in tandem with the country's renewable energy landscape. He also noted how the STB Gigas plan to enter the electronic vehicles product market in the coming years align with the country's plan to reduce its reliance on imported fuels. This certainly aligns with our plans to develop the country's EV industry and produce locally made EVs and EV components, reducing our reliance on imported fuel, he said. Now, for the Alex Go updates, Defense Secretary Gilberto Delgado Jr. on Monday said it was up to the proper authorities to determine if dismissed Bamba Mayor Alice Go was a spy or not. However, Delgado said only 3 things are clear about Guo. What is clear is that she is not a Filipino, Delgado said in an abashed interview in Camp Aguinaldo. Secondly, she falsified documents to pretend that she is a Filipino, and thirdly, she was an active co-conspirator to a massive illegal criminal enterprise. TGON, an alleged Chinese spy imprisoned in Thailand, also linked Guo to Chinese espionage operations in the Philippines, according to an Al Jazeera report, which she vehemently denied. Guo, who is now identified as Guo Huaping, was investigated by the Senate and House of Representatives over her involvement in the operation of illegal Philippine offshore gaming operators. Guo fled the country last July 18 despite an ongoing probe into her probable role in the operations of Pogo. Indonesian authorities arrested her in Jakarta on September 4. She is a facilitator and a participant in an illegal criminal enterprise, Delgado said. Whether or not she is a spy, that is something yet to be determined with finality by the proper authorities. In line with this, Delgado urged lawmakers to amend the law on espionage in the country. We should punish espionage in times of peace because the espionage law in the Philippines is only effective in times of war, he also said. The recently concluded joint patrol of the Philippines, United States, Australia, and New Zealand in the West Philippine Sea was not a move that intended to insult China, former Senator Gregorio Gringo Honasan said on Monday. China has been affronting us for a long time already, so how can they view this as an affront to China? This is reciprocal. That's part of the course. Deterrent effect. Equilibrium. That translates into order. Balance of power, he told reporters in a chance interview. The Armed Forces of the Philippines earlier bear that the Combined Defense Forces of the Philippines, Australia, Japan, New Zealand, and the U.S. conducted a joint patrol in the West Philippine Sea on September 28. The activity showcased the nation's shared commitment to upholding the right to freedom of navigation and overflight and other lawful uses of the sea and international airspace, according to the AFP. While Honasan views the joint patrol as part of an act that translates into peace and order, he still noted the need to peacefully resolve disputes in the West Philippine Sea. Beyond that, they should have a plan on how to resolve this peacefully, or either through the international bodies or in the absence of that, they booster our mobilization plans to prepare for any eventuality, he said. It is now 6:10 in the evening and koolNews at 6 will be right back. Welcome back to koolNews Access. Let's continue with the headlines. Gross borrowing of the Marcos administration went up in August as the government sourced more than the domestic market. Data from the Bureau of the Treasury showed the combined gross domestic and external borrowings of the government amounted to 174 billion pesos in August, up by 40.3% from last year's 124.05 billion pesos. The state's 8-month gross financing also rose by 17.4% to 1.93 trillion pesos. Based on the latest cash operations report of the BTR, local borrowings increased by 42.3% to 167.05 billion pesos in August. This included 27 billion pesos in short-term financing via treasury bills and 140 billion pesos in long-dated treasury bonds. Since the beginning of the year, domestic borrowings grew by 31.8% to 1.65 trillion pesos from the 1.25 trillion pesos in the same period last year. Meanwhile, gross foreign financing grew by 4.6% to 6.99 billion pesos in August. The amount only included project loans during the month. For the first 8 months, offshore borrowings reached 282.46 billion pesos, down by 28.4%. Last month, the Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas slashed the policy rate by 25 basis points to 6.25%. This was the first rate cut in almost 4 years or since November 2020 during the height of the pandemic. BSP Governor Ali Ramona Jr. hinted at the possibility of more rate cuts amid easing consumer prices. For the last 3 months of the year, the government aims to borrow 310 billion pesos from the domestic market, down by more than half of the 630 billion pesos borrowing program in the third quarter. Increases in petroleum products will welcome motorists in the first week of October, with all companies hiking the per liter prices by as much as 90 centavos. In a separate advisory, Cleanfield and Shell Pilipinas said diesel prices would climb by 90 centavos, while gasoline would increase by 45 centavos a liter. Kerosene prices will also inch up by 30 centavos a liter. This marks the second consecutive week of increases. Rodelo Romero, director of the Department of Energy's All Industry Management Bureau, said the upward adjustments could be attributed to the supply uncertainty due to worsening conflict in the Middle East. The Chinese government's move to boost its economy is also seen to offset weak demand in Europe. U.S. goods inventory drove is a bullish signal indicating tightening global supplies, she added in an earlier statement. Persons deprived of liberty in the Negros Occidental District Jail in Baco City urged lawmakers to raise their food and medical budget for 2025, human rights group Karapatan said on Monday. In the petition letter dated September 19, around 700 inmates in the NODJ requested a 100 pesos daily food allowance per person, along with a 30 pesos daily budget for medicine. The current daily meal allowance for each PDL stands at 70 pesos, while the daily medicine allowance is 14 pesos, the letter read. The letter was addressed to Negros lawmakers Gerardo Mayor, Alfredo Maranon III, Stephen Joseph Paduano, Emilio Bernardino Yulo, Garek Gasataya, Juliet Marie Ferrer, and Mercedes Alvarez. Our daily food and medicine budget was last hiked by Congress in 2018. Without a doubt, this has been rather inaccurate now due to the sharp rise in the cost of essential food items and utilities in the country, the PDLs wrote in their dialogue. On one hand, it meant that our daily food rotation had been affected in quantity and in quality. And on the other hand, this has forced many families of PDLs are very dependent before inauguration to send us financial and material aid, they added. Karapatan reported that the 700 PDLs housed in NODJ are part of over 4,000 inmates across the province. Nationwide, nearly 180,000 PDLs are currently under the supervision of the Bureau of Jail Management and Penology, the human rights group added. And now for the headlines in Cebu, a 17-year-old boy died after the motorcycle that he was riding was hit by a minibus along the National Highway in Barangay Tulik in Argao, Cebu on Monday morning, September 13. Patrolman R.J. Balbuena, investigator of Argao Police Station, said that the grade 12 student died of serious head injuries. Balbuena said that the motorcycle rider, a resident of Barangay Campantok in Dalagute town, was without helmet when the accident happened. In addition, he was driving without a license. Balbuena said that the boy was traveling on the highway's northbound lane when he suddenly encroached on the other lane, which caused his motorcycle to collide with the approaching minibus. He was on his way to his boarding house when the accident happened. On the other hand, 60-year-old bus driver was traveling from Cebu City to Dalagute town then. He is a native of Barangay Matalongan in Dalagute, Cebu. Due to the impact of the collision, the boy was thrown from his motorcycle and landed on the considered pavement. Balbuena said that the minibus driver was detained earlier at the detention facility of the Argao police station, but he was later on released after he reached a settlement with the victim's family. The driver has promised to pay for the victim's funeral expense. And now for the international headlines. US President Joe Biden on Sunday approved $567 million in defense assistance for Taiwan, the White House said, as China ramps up political and military pressure on the self-ruled island. While the United States does not officially recognize Taiwan diplomatically, it is Taipei's key partner and major provider of weapons, a point of consideration for Beijing, which has repeatedly called on Washington to stop arming the island, which it claims is part of its territory. In a brief statement, the White House said Biden had delegated the Secretary of State to directly draw down of up to $567 million in defense articles and services of the Department of Defense and Military Education and Training to provide assistance to Taiwan. It did not give details of the package, which is nearly twice the size of the $345 million in defense support approved in July last year. The United States in April this year approved billions in military aid for Taiwan in the face of an increasingly associated China, which has upped military and political pressure on the island in recent years. Beijing has regularly expressed anger at international support for Taipei and accused Washington of meddling in its affairs. China claims democratic Taiwan as part of its territory and maintains a new daily presence of fighter jets, drones, and warships around the island. Beijing has said it will never renounce the use of force to bring Taiwan under its control and has also ramped up rhetoric about unification being inevitable. And Palestinian military group Hamas said its leader in Lebanon was killed Monday in a strike on the country's soil, as official media reported a strike on the Palestinian refugee camp. Fatah Sharif Abu al-Amin, the leader of Hamas in Lebanon and member of the movement's leadership abroad, was killed in an airstrike on his home in the Al-Bas camp in Sard, Lebanon, a Hamas statement said. It said he was killed with his wife, son, and daughter in a terrorist and criminal assassination. The official national news agency reported an airstrike on Al-Bas near the city of Terre, saying it was the first time that the camp had been targeted. The statement came hours after the Popular Front for the Liberation of Palestine, a secular left-wing group, said 3 of its members were killed in a strike on Beirut's Kola district early Monday. Israel has repeatedly targeted Hamas officials in Lebanon since the Gaza war erupted almost a year ago. A strike in January, which a U.S. defense official said was carried out by Israel, killed Hamas deputy leader Hassan al-Aruri and 6 other militants in the Hezbollah's Beirut stronghold. In August, an Israeli strike on a vehicle in the South Lebanon city of Isdon killed Hamas commander Samar al-Hajj. Lebanon's official Palestinian refugee camps were created for Palestinians who were driven out or fled during the 1948 war at the time of Israel's creation. By long-standing convention, the Lebanese army stays out of the camps and leaves the Palestinian factions to handle security. And finally, in showbiz, for Alex Alacat, many adults decide not to have children because they want to focus on their own plans, saying it's a thought she fully understands and resonates with at this stage of her life. Ilakat is the lead star of the upcoming film Mujigat, which tells the story of a 5-year-old half Korean, half Filipino child Mujigat, played by Riri Sofia, finding herself in the care of her aunt Sunny, Ilakat. They eventually develop a strong mother and daughter relationship, which will be put to the test upon the return of the child's biological father. While the film talks about the complicated relationship between a child and her mother figure, the actress singer told reporters that adults, particularly women, are free to live their lives as they wish. And this is the interview here. Touching on their plans to focus on their careers, Ilakat said that she and Esprada will decide to have kids at the right time, especially since they're still young. We're not ready to settle down yet. We're not going to start a family because of our age. We're going to do it when we're ready and we know to ourselves that we can provide. There's no pressure between us, she said. And one more before we wrap up with koolNews at 6, we have some unfortunate news. This came in, I think, about 2 hours ago. Park Ji-am, star of The Glory, has passed away at the age of 52. This was first reported by GMA Integrated News. Her agency, Brilliance, confirmed the unfortunate news on Monday, September 30, through a statement that Sompi ran. We at Cool FM send our condolence to Park Ji-am, who is the actress of The Glory. Rest well, Park Ji-am. And that is it for koolNews at 6. Until then, I am Cairo. We will see you later for more news headlines with koolNews Prime Time at 9. Good evening.